Art should comfort the disturbed and disturb the comfortable.
But to put down that mob, a mob would rise.
You are defending the people who kill the lives you say matter. Tell the truth.
Who will put down that mob?
White people must yield to the colored people, and that they should not therefore be permitted to marry.
That's a bar from Dr. Cesar Cruz, who is a poet, an artist, an activist. I've heard this phrase, this quote for years, and it's something that I keep coming back to because it really connects with the way that I try to make art, the way that I try to craft artistry. I'm gonna just chat with y'all while I eat my breakfast. Hold on. I think about a lot of different pieces of art that have done this for me. I think about Lemonade, Solange's A Seat at the Table, Damn by Kendrick Lamar, really any Kendrick Lamar album, Propaganda's book, Terraform, shout out Propaganda, Prop's album, Crooked. In this project that you saw in the thumbnail and that you saw at the beginning of this video, right? I aim to do just that. Me and my homegirl, Rafah, we put this project together. Rob was an Egyptian and I'm Black US American, right? And we wanted to kind of come together in this project to disrupt the people who are sitting in spaces of comfort, who don't have to consider the realities and the trials and the tribulations of the people in Gaza, right? Who are going through this genocide, this ethnic cleansing, who are experiencing this, and the reality of this 75 plus year genocide occupation by the Israeli regime in Palestine, right? And so we wanted to disrupt those who are here, those in our communities, those in the US, like we were talking about, to have to pay attention, to see these things from a different light, to see these things from a different angle. And then I think the two kind of major reasons that we pressed into this was to do something bigger than ourselves and impact in a way that could be bigger than what we could do ourselves. So we wanted to create something where we could help to raise money for humanitarian aid in Gaza, to benefit these folks, because the reality is that they started reconstructing. I read some report where it was like, if they started the process of like reconstructing that area right now through all the destruction that Israel has laid, it would take like 75 years. It would take our lifetime, like most of our lifetimes and more, to finish and to fix the damage that has been done to that infrastructure, to those homes, to those people's livelihoods, every aspect of just general life. And it's disgusting, right? And so to be able to do whatever we could within our power to utilize art to help raise money, to help and benefit those folks. And then we wanted to emphasize the interconnectedness of all of us, right? To help globalize our perspectives as marginalized peoples, as people seeking liberation around the world. If you look at Dr. King, or you look at Malcolm X, or you look at the Black Panther Party, the things that they were trying to do, especially King and X, in the ends of their lives, was to help Black folks to understand, Black US American peoples here to understand the globalization of our struggles, like the international nature and the interconnectedness of marginalized peoples worldwide. They were pushing for those sorts of things to have emphasis in our communities because of the impact that it could have on the way in which we combated injustice worldwide, to see that like that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. In that, we wanted to help people to see that and to see the interconnectedness and solidarity among communities, among Black folks, among Palestinian folks, among all Arab people groups who are experiencing marginalization at the hands of imperialism. It was extremely important for us to push forward these narratives of solidarity, because one of the things that is the biggest threat to imperialism, colonialism, oppression, white supremacy, all of these things, is the unification of marginalized people groups. I'm talking across every community group. I'm talking about class, right? I'm talking about people across the spectrum, that if we unite and see the through lines of our own experiences, through lines of the ways in which imperialism has been oppressive to all sorts of our communities, all of our communities, then we will be able to combat these things better, right? We aim to do just that with this project. So to break it down a little bit further, with this fundraiser, we are going to take this image and we are actually forming it to look like this for a scarf, right? We're selling scarves, which has significance across all of our communities, across Arab communities, Palestinians, Black folks, right? 100% silk twill, 14 mom scarves. And those are going to be up for pre-order right now. You can find that link in the description, and they're gonna go for $50, and 100% of the proceeds, which means everything after the production costs and our shipping to you, are going to go to the Palestine Red Crescent Society, which is on the ground right now in Palestine and is doing this humanitarian aid work, is providing services, health services, everything that they can to support the people there. They are committed to do this in times of war and disaster and times that aren't. They are a Red Cross society, like a Red Cross organization, and a completely trustworthy organization. We've done our research. This is a great organization to be giving to, and especially in this time where humanitarian aid is not getting in this country. We saw what happened with the World Central Kitchen murders by the Israeli regime. We've seen the blockades that Israel has done against humanitarian aid and how they're forcing starvation upon these people. And so for us, it was really important to donate to an organization and pull together folks to donate to an organization that can actually do work and help right now. These are going to be up until May 1st, and we're running pre-orders till then. If there is a greater demand, we might reopen those, but we have to kind of stop stuff at a point so that we can walk into the post-production or the production process and send it to the manufacturer and everything like that so that we can get it all shipped out to y'all. If you are looking for a way to support the people in Palestine amidst this genocide, this ethnic cleansing, this 75 plus years of apartheid, I want you to hit that link and support. Buy a scarf, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can stand together in solidarity as we pay attention to how people are suffering around the world and engage it. The last thing I'll say about this thing, it was really important for me, especially when I looked into history and paid attention to some of the realities and different ways that there were through lines of support between Palestinians and Black folks here in this country in our civil rights struggles, and moments where I saw murals in Palestine of George Floyd or the solidarity through the Ferguson protests. Like, there's a precedent where we've seen solidarity from Palestinian folks in the midst of our own struggles. And so I wanted a better picture on, I'm seeing these people suffering, and I've seen this going down for months. What's going on? Because I've heard about this and I don't know enough. And so I pressed into it. And I read this book. I'm about to grab it for y'all. So I read this book called Black Power in Palestine. It's by Michael R. Fishbosh. And this joint right here gave me so much insight on the Black Power movement in the US and just different Black leaders and how our opinions and how their opinions were concerning Palestine. It gave me just so much insight on so many various leaders and what the sort of tensions and divisions and hangups were across communities. So I cannot recommend this book enough. Get this book, read this book. Black folks, Black US American Negroes, read this book, bro. And so I wanted to help explain, educate, and trying to draw Black folks together to understand, those are our siblings, bro. Those are our people. And I say that among all proletariat groups, all working class groups, all press groups, all marginalized groups. We are united. We are siblings. We are family. We have to stand together. And so I wanted to help give people perspective and visuals, because I think with this project, one of the things that was really just striking and drawing to me is just through lines that I was seeing just in similarities of colors and symbols and experiences. And we know brutalization, we know apartheid, we know colonization, we know genocide. Like, we know these things, bro. We've experienced these things in various ways, and some in similar severities, and some in very different ones. We've experienced these things. And so within that, we have to be intentional to call that mess out, and not to say, oh, I'm comfortable now, so, and it may not be as comfortable as I want to be, and we may not be fully free, but we more comfortable than we were, and so I'm just gonna chill and not say nothing. No, bruh. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Stand up for the marginalized, stand up for the oppressed. And so that's what we're doing with this project. We're going and unite people together to stand up for the marginalized, stand up for the oppressed in Palestine. You know, we might not be able to stop this genocide from happening like today. We might not be able to have the power to say this is over today, like it's done, you're not doing this anymore. But we can use art creatively. We can be creative extremists. We can take these sorts of things and help to push people towards revolutionary acts and radical change and movements, and we can inspire those things. Like, art has that place in revolutionary movements, in works towards justice in this world and in this society. So yeah, I am encouraging y'all, if this speaks to you, if this interests you, to purchase a scarf. We're going to donate the funds to the Palestine Red Crescent Society, and maybe this thing grows as time goes on, but right now we're going to do what we can to help support and fund and bring humanitarian aid to the people of Gaza. And yeah, that's it. Free Palestine. And yeah, free Palestine. So I'll chat with y'all later. I'm gonna eat the rest of my breakfast. Peace.